I guess we should get started. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Zhenya and this is Plants and Vlogs. You guys, today I'm gonna show you my very quick, last minute, no time, no fuss type of a soil mix. This is my go-to mix when I don't have enough time and I need something in a pinch. This is something that if I need to repot something as in a rescue plant or an emergency type of a situation where I don't have my plant mix on hand that I usually make and I need something just really fast, something fast and well draining. Obviously, since I'm using it now, I'm in a pinch. We are actually in the middle of getting everything ready for the move. So that would be the reason why I'm not setting up my cabinets and my propagation boxes, although I am very tempted. We still have a few months before anything happens, but I am very tempted to do that. But I know just as soon as I set it up, I'm gonna have to take it down. So I am reining myself in as much as I can of limiting the number of plants I have currently until we get settled in a new place. I am limiting myself in setting anything up as far as big and permanent, and that is why I'm using smaller amounts of soil mixes currently. Usually I have bins and bins and bins because everything in Florida grows and everything blooms, and my outdoor plants and my indoor plants tend to use the same type of soil just because the soil outside has to be brought in, kind of artificially in, because everything is clay and sand, mostly sand. The good type of soil needs to be kind of trucked in and brought in for the outdoor plants as well. I usually have bins and bins and bins, and I still have a couple of bins outside for my outdoor plants, but my indoor plants, there are just few new ones that I've got that do need a new home. I am gonna end up doing a propagation box just for the reason it's gonna be easier to transport them. Let's get started. If you have not already, give this video a thumbs up, go ahead and subscribe, click the notification button, and this way you never miss a video. Okay, so first things first, there is a shortage of perlite, you guys, in Florida, at least in Florida. The reason, as I'm being told by places like Home Depot and Lowe's and just your regular big box stores, is the ships are stuck at sea and they're waiting to dock, unload, and then they have lack of drivers to actually get the product off the ship, cargo ship, and transport it across US. In Tampa, where I am, I've spent the last week trying to get perlite. I do not have perlite, I ran out of perlite, and I was like, this is insane. I've been to about 8 to 10 different stores. They get about 5 to 6 bags and they're just flying up the shelves. So for those of you who are lucky enough to get perlite, stock up on perlite. I found one store in my immediate area. Did not want to go drive too far, but in my immediate area I found one store and I got there right in time. They were unloading the bags of perlite, and mind you, they're not big bags. I did manage to snag one, and I could have gotten more, but you know, I have to leave some for my other plenty people. So I've only got one. They're this size. They're not big. I mean, they're like 8 dry quarts, 8.8 liters, like this. And this is Virgo perlite, and they literally had about 20 bags. That's it for the whole entire store. 20 bags of perlite, you guys. And there was a line, there was a waiting list, there was like a line of people waiting to get the perlite. It was insane. It's gonna hold me over for quite a while. I'm not planning on doing any big propagation or anything like that in perlite anytime soon, so it's gonna be just enough for the plant mixes that I'm gonna need. But don't quote me on that, things might change. So while I was on hunt for that, I remembered that when in a pinch, I just used to grab regular orchid bark mix, you guys. This is special, you know, orchid potting mix. This one's by Better Grow. I really like this brand, Better Grow. But it has pretty much everything Hoyas will need, except coco coir, that, you know, it's also an option to put it in or to leave it out, because you know, Hoyas are going to be just as happy growing in this. Which reminds me, I do need to run to the store and get coco coir. This will do just fine. And depending on what you're growing, you can just add a little soil mix, potting mix, coco coir, or a little bit more perlite, depending on the need of your plants. And you know, this has fir bark. Out of all the barks, for some reason, I really prefer fir bark. It seems like plants really seem to love it. It already has charcoal and perlite in it. So what I'm planning to do is use some of it straight out of the bag for a couple of the orchids that I do need to repot, and I'll show them to you guys right now. It's these ones. If you guys seen my previous video, it's these little rescues that I've gotten, and there's two different ones, two different kinds. Here's the other one right here. I got them on sale. They were like crazy cheap, couple bucks, seriously. So this one is Phalaenopsis orchid. Let me take the tag out so you guys can see a little bit better. And I am no orchid expert by any means. If anything, I'm the furthest from it. This was an experiment, and this is still an experiment. I have not been able to keep an orchid alive except these ones, and I've gotten so much help from everybody around in the advice. So I am following it, and they seem to be still alive. And I think this one put out a whole new leaf, which I completely missed. This will tell you how much I'm skittish about orchids. When I got these, I asked you guys to give me tips and your tricks on growing orchids, and I've got a lot of feedback on a lot of my social media on what to do, what not to do, ice cubes, no ice cubes, all of that stuff. I was so scared that I was going to make these plants not live any longer. But I was doing everything that was suggested, and the rest of the time I was scared to even look at them. I was so scared to look at them that I missed that this one put out a whole new leaf. Look at this. Which makes me happy. I do not kill orchids. I'm very happy. Now if it's gonna give out a shoot and bloom for me, I would be even more happier. But this guy really needs a new pot. As you can see, this is just in the general, like a plug type of a plastic pot. The roots are doing pretty good. It does need to be watered. I did not want to water it until I repot it. I'm gonna repot it. It is in sphagnum moss. I don't think I'll even be able to pull this one out. I will have to cut the pot, like cut the plastic on this one. But luckily enough, I did find some of these. These are actually from our shop. We had a container a few months back where we found a whole bunch of cheese forms, brand new cheese forms. And these could not be more perfect for orchids. And I know this is bigger, much bigger than this orchid needs, but that's the smallest size I had on hand, and this is what I'm gonna use just because I had it on hand. So it's gonna have a new home, and it's gonna stay in here for quite a while until it grows out of this. So it's gonna be quite a while. And since I have two orchids, I got two little cheese forms, little new houses for them. So this one, yeah, as you can see, I did not kill it. It gave me a whole new leaf, which I'm so pleased about. And the roots are still green, nice and supple. This does live on my north window. I don't know as far as that's gonna make a difference or not, but this does live on my north window, and it seems to like it quite a bit. And this is the other one. This is a different kind of an orchid. This one's supposed to be Oncidium. So I think one was like white in color, and the other one was supposed to be purple or lavender in color. Actually, let me take this one out of its pot as well. This one is, as you can see, it still has this little twig of a stem on there. This one, it gave me 2 more leaves, you guys. 4 more leaves. No way. Oh my gosh. Oh, this makes me so excited, you guys. I feel like an orchid whisperer right now. I'm not even kidding you. Look at this. Do you see the little leaves right here? The 2 little leaves right here and the 2 little leaves right here? I did not even realize that. I'm telling you, I've been so skittish about these orchids that I have been scared to even look at them, like to touch them, because I know they're very finicky. They do not like drafts, they do not like cold, they do not like warm. Even though everybody says they're very easy to grow, for me, I think this is one of the hardest plants. Even though in Florida, they grow everywhere. People just stick them on the palm tree, like tie them up to a palm tree, and that's it. They bloom, they flower, they thrive. Me, no. When I do that, it doesn't work. But this guy right here, this one's trying to get out of its pot. Do you see that little tiny root right there? And it's all green roots and everything, and they look very healthy. Well, to me at least, they look very healthy. What do you guys think? Did I do a good job on the orchids? I think I did a pretty good job on the orchids. Pat myself on the back. And I'm just gonna use the orchid bark and orchid mix from here, just straight up from here. I'm gonna put it in here, plop them in there, and we'll call it a day with these guys. As for the rest of my plants, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix this with some perlite. Not too much, maybe like 2/3 of this and 1 more third of that. I know this one already has perlite in there. I'm just gonna add a little bit more, and that's gonna do the trick for now until I get the coco coir. Some of my boys are gonna be happy. Other thing I wanna do is I wanna chop up my little tiny vine. It's already been rooted in water. This is my philodendron micans, and oh my gosh, I love the velvety plants. The velvety leaves, yes please, all day long, you guys. So this is philodendron mican, and this has a new growth and a new leaf, that's actually 2 that are coming out, and it does have beautiful roots. I don't know how well you guys can see, but it has beautiful roots over there. So what I'm gonna do is, my thinking is I'm just gonna propagate these nodes, and I'm gonna root them, and I'm gonna make them into one big plant. So it's gonna be, when the time comes, it's gonna be easier on the move, and on me, and on the plant. So we're just gonna do that. So yeah, before we do anything else, let's repot these orchids, and we'll mix the rest of the stuff for my other plants. We're just gonna use this little turkey container to mix everything. I'm gonna move the plants over here for a minute while we're gonna repot everything. I'm going to spill it out here just a little bit so you guys can see. So we'll do one at a time. So orchid bark, this orchid mix, it has a whole bunch of different stuff that is really good for the plants. It has the bark itself, it has the charcoal right here, which actually helps purify all the water and impurities when you water the plants, and from the plants itself. And these little white little pebbles, this is perlite. And as you can see, there's not a lot of them, even though this is really good for orchids because it's specially mixed for those plants. If you were to use just this mixture for your Hoyas or regular plants, this is not enough perlite at all. Plus I'm going to be adding soil to this mix just to kind of break it up when I use it for my other plants. But so far, let's just repot the little orchids that I have right here. So I do have my little cheese forms orchid pots over here, and I do have my scissors as well. We're gonna do one at a time. Yeah, there's no way. I was trying to wiggle it out, but there's absolutely no way that I can do it this way. So I'm gonna end up cutting this, which I need to be very careful not to damage the roots. And my scissors are always sterilized before I do anything with the plants. Just good practice in general. And we're just gonna free up the roots. I'm just gonna give these roots a little bit more room to breathe, find their way on their own. I just do want to give them like a little head start right here. You guys, this is history in the making. This is my very first time repotting an orchid. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this baby down for a second. And put this right in. And I'm just gonna cover it up with the rest of the mixture, including all the roots. Just being very careful about the leaves. I think I'm gonna need a bigger windowsill now. That this is like twice the size of a pot that it used to be in. Well, actually more than twice the size. But I think it's gonna be so much happier in here. For those of you who already have orchids growing, tell me if I'm doing this right, and tell me if I need to take some of this bark off of the top layer and expose some of the roots. I know they will find their way out, and I have a couple of them right here. I'm not gonna cover just in case. I want to see what they're gonna do. But this side I'm gonna cover, and I'm just gonna leave this little leaf on top. Of course, I always use the distilled water to water these guys, or the rainwater. And I'm gonna put this guy aside for a minute, and let's do the other one. This mixture has saved my plants and my nerves and my time so many times that I absolutely love it. It already has most of the stuff that you would need to mix in it anyway, so the only other thing you might need to add to it is either perlite or coco coir or some soil, whatever your preference is. I always have this on hand, and I hope this will help you as well when you're in the pinch. And obviously, if you have a favorite mix, go ahead and use that in the first place. But I hope you found this video helpful. If so, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I'd love to have you as a subscriber and part of the community. And we'll see you in the next one.